Hey everyone, and welcome to your Java tutorial on public versus private access modifiers, right? So I have our code pulled up from our last tutorial, and you can see we have our person class created here. And you might notice that we have these public keywords before our member variable and before our constructor here. And that's cool, that's fine, but a lot of times when you're creating a class, you don't want to expose or have a first name be, or have any of your data, in this case it's the first name, but just any data. You really don't, most of the time, don't want to make that public, because that means that anybody or any program or any other developer who's working on your same project but might not have your knowledge can access this member variable and do whatever they want to it. They can write to it, they can read from it, they can change it in any way that they want with no real guidelines behind it. So there's a couple issues with that, and we'll kind of work through this tutorial so I can kind of show you some of the issues. So what I'm going to do first is I'm also going to create a public integer called age, right? And in our constructor, I'm also going to take in a parameter of age input. And I'm going to assign our age variable to the value of age input. And so I'm going to also pass in a value here, and another value here. And there we have it. So now our constructor is taking two inputs here, and our class has two member variables. Now, in this case, I don't mind having our first name as public. That's okay to me. But in this situation, I prefer to keep the name or the age of our person objects kind of private. You don't always want people knowing your age for whatever reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this equal to private. Now, what that means is that over here, where if I create our repeat object here, you see in this list, I have first name is available. What's not available in this list, no matter where we go, we can see print name is available, right? Because it's public. Age is not available in this list. Now, if I was to make this, which means we can't access it, right? If it's not available in this list, I can't access it. If I try to access it, I get an error. So I'm going to try to access it, and we'll try to assign it to 20. Just assign my age to 20. Wish I could do that. But we can't. And it says the field person.age is not visible, meaning it's not public. The compiler, isn't allowing us access to it. So you can see first name we have access to. Age we do not have access to. So what that means is after we create the object through the constructor, we can no longer see that object. It just gets stored away in our class. And so this is actually very pretty powerful, because it makes it so that other people can't access this member variable except through methods that we will create. And that's going to be a conversation on getters and setters that we're going to talk about in the next video. But for now, all I want you to know is public variables are exactly that. They can be accessed by objects and code that's outside of our class, right? Outside of this class. Private variables can only be accessed inside of our class. So inside the scope of our class, which is these two curly braces. Outside of these two curly braces, we cannot access age, right? So we can't access age outside of these two curly braces. We try to access it in our app, or in our app class over here, our program, and we cannot do that. We're going to learn in the next tutorial how we can expose it through methods, which is a very powerful concept. But for right now, this is the public versus private tutorial. I hope you learned something.